Hello, this is Unit 1, Lesson 6 for Math 1 or Algebra 1. Today is word problems with basic consecutive integers. This is a two-part lesson, and the second part is going to be about perimeter problems. So if you are looking for that, please go ahead and just skip this one. So just some basic review. Consecutive integers means numbers next to each other. Significantly consecutive means next to. So 1, 2, and 3 are consecutive integers because 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3. They're next to each other. On a number line, they're next to each other. Now, there are word problems with this style of stuff, and they look like this. Find 3 consecutive numbers that, when added together, is 6. Normally, you would not assume to know how to do that. So that's why this is a little bit of an abstract concept, but it has one set of steps, and after you get that set of steps, you can pretty much get this guaranteed. But one key thing to remember is that consecutive numbers are next to each other all the time. They are never not next to each other, because the word consecutive means next to each other. So just to set this problem up, we're going to use n is for number, because we don't know what the starting number is. We know what the ending number is. So we know that one number, one number, and then the second number, and then the third number, they add to 6. So we are going to start by replacing our first number with x, because we know that the first number is x, and that means that it's not changed. So let's rewrite this equation with x. And because we know that n2, so the second number, is 1 after x, we can add 1 to x to find out the second number. So if this is x, x plus 1 is n2, x plus 2 is n3. And when we write this into equation, it'll make more sense. X plus 1 plus x plus 2. We already know that n1 is x, that's why it's here. N2 is x plus 1. They equal the same thing, so you can plug them into the equation. And similarly, just so on and so forth, x plus 2 is n3. And we know that it equals 6. If you know how to solve equations, you know that since we have 3 x's, we can combine them to get 3x. And since we have 2 regular numbers, we combine those to get 3. 3x plus 3 equals 6. And then we just solve like normal, and we get x equals 1. And we have to find all the numbers. So we know that x is 1, x plus 1 equals the second number, which is 2, x plus 2 equals the third number, which is 3. So 1, 2, and 3 are consecutive numbers. They come after each other in the number line. 1 plus 1 is 2, and that's why x plus 1 is the second number. Similarly, 1 plus 2 equals 3, x plus 2 equals the third number. Hopefully that made a little bit sense, and here's another problem. Here's a problem that we can use just as practice. Here is a problem. Find 3 consecutive numbers that, when added together, equals 54. So we know that our last number is 54. And we know we have 3 numbers. So we'll have number 1, number 2, number 3. And we know that it equals 54. We can replace number 1 with x because it's the first number. And we know the second number is going to be plus 1 because it's next to it. So we can add 1 to x and add that as a whole nother term. And we do the same thing again. And that's 2. So if we add 2 to the first number, we get to the third number. And we replace the first number with x. So we add 2 to x. Think of n as like a variable, and we're just replacing with x. And we know this whole thing equals 54. And now we solve like normal. We see we have 3 x's. And we see we have 2 normal terms. And we know that 1 plus 2 is 3. When we continue solving like normal, our first step is to subtract by 3 from both sides. 54 minus 3 is 51 equals 3x. We divide both sides by 3, and we get x equals 51 divided by 3. In case you do not know, short division, 3 divided by 5, we have 1, and then 2, and then 3 divided by 21, that's 17. That gives us x equals 17. So what do all 3 of our numbers equal? n1 is 17, because n1 is x, x is 17. See how they all equal out with each other? n2 is going to be x plus 1. If x is 17, x plus 1 is 18. n3 equals x plus 2. If x is 17, x plus 2 is 19. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. But consecutive numbers aren't limited to just 1. They can also ask for odd and even numbers. So here's something that I want you to look at. Numbers aren't just classified as them being next to each other, maybe plus 1, minus 1. Mom, give me like 15 minutes. Okay, so numbers can also be classified as odd and even. And we know that all odd numbers and all even numbers are 2 away from each other. So, for example, 2 and 4 are 2 numbers away from each other. So those are and then 4 and 6 are 2 numbers away from each other. They always are going to be, all the even numbers in the world are always going to be 2 away from the next one. So even integers can be consecutive if you're basing it just on even integers. Similarly, with odd integers, that's always going to be 2 away. 3 is 2 away from 5. 5 is 2 away from 7. 7 is 2 away from 9. Always going to be 2 away. So if we're ever given a problem where it's asking us for consecutive even integers or consecutive odd integers, we write them the same way as normal, but instead of +1, we're going to do it by +2. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2. They're 2 numbers away. So if it's asking for 3 consecutive even integers or 3 consecutive odd integers, we would do, this is the first number, this is the second number, and this is the third number. Hopefully that makes sense. And let's do a problem up here. We have 2 problems. Find 3 consecutive even numbers that add up to 84, which that means that these 3 numbers will add up to 84, and they are 2 away from each other because they're even numbers. So let's immediately start with n1, n2, n3 equals 84, and we add them together. Second, we can replace each of our numbers with our x term. We know that n1 is x. We keep the plus the same. n2 is x plus 2 because it's an even number, and we keep the plus down, and then we have x plus 4 because that's 4 numbers away from x, which is 2 even numbers away, equals 84. And again, we just solve like normal. We have 3 x's, we have 2 normal terms, 2 plus 4 is 6 equals 84. Subtract both sides by 6. 84 minus 6 is 78. Divide both sides by 3. 78 divided by 3 is 26. So we know that our first number is 26. So n1, 26. Similarly, n2 is going to be the next even number, which is 28. N3 is going to be the next even number after 28, which is 30. So there we go. Just going to erase it so it doesn't cause us other issues later. Now, here's another one. What is the value of the middle integer? Notice how it's not asking us to find the value of all the integers. It's asking us to find one of them. When 5 consecutive integers, so +1 because they're consecutive integers, add up to 100. So we're not going to stop at n3. We're going to stop at n5 because we have 5 numbers. So we got n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus n4 plus n5 equals 100. And we need to find our middle integer. So the middle integer is going to be 1, 1, 2, 2. The middle integer is n3. So we're ultimately trying to find this middle number. So let's go ahead and rewrite based off of what we know. We already know that n1 is x, and we keep those the same. And since they're consecutive, we're adding by 1. And we're just going to continue doing that. Hopefully that makes sense on why I did that. And that all equals to 100. So let's go ahead and do what we normally do. X, 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 x. We have 5 x's. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. And we're just going to continue solving like normal. We subtract 10 from both sides, gets us to 90, equals 5x. Divide both sides by 5. And then we get 90 divided by 5 equals 18. So we know that x equals 18. We're trying to find n3. n3 equals x plus 2. X plus 2, 18 plus 2, is 20. So the third number is 20. Hopefully that all makes sense. And stick around to see the next lesson based off of this topic, which is going to be how do we use this concept to help us with perimeter problems. Thank you.